Welcome to Learning Life Skills Together. This is our weekly community Zoom meeting where our guests help us to go deeper into the 4 life skills and open up a huge array of chances to practice them. Hello, everyone. This is episode number 101 of the weekly Zoom meeting for Learning Life Skills Together. And I'm here today with Heather Bloodworth from YMCA of Greater Brandywine. And we're going to be talking about kids and health and mental health. But first, you're going to hear from Heather helping us to come into maybe a more settled place so that we can listen and talk. I know I need that right now. Heather, you're on.
Wonderful. Thanks, Don. Let's take this moment to just arrive. And I'll invite everyone, if you're able to place your feet flat on the ground and settle into where you're seated, perhaps just gently sitting upright. I'll invite you to soften your gaze or close your eyes, whatever feels comfortable to you in this moment. And let's start with a slow breath in and a slow breath out. And again, inhaling and exhaling. Noticing your breath exactly as it is. There's no need to change it. Simply paying attention. You might notice the air moving through your nose, the rise or fall of your chest, or even the rhythm of your breath. And if your mind feels active and or wanders, this is what the mind does. It's completely normal. And as you notice it, just gently bring your attention back to your breath. And perhaps expanding your awareness to your body. And noticing your body, your feet on the ground, the weight of your body in the chair, and any point of contacts where you feel connected to where you're seated. And maybe even notice around you. The space, the environment you're in. Maybe any sounds or distractions. And while there's nothing to fix and nothing to change here, just noticing. And I'll invite you to take one more slow breath in. And then exhaling here, maybe even opening your mouth and sighing it out and letting it go. And if your eyes have been closed, opening, allowing yourself to start to take in the space around you. Maybe noticing how you feel now compared to just a few moments ago.
Yeah. It's really such an amazing thing that a tiny break like that can really give you a reset, not just in the way that stuff that was in your mind, but the stuff that was in your body, you know,
Yeah.
just you notice it and okay, that's there. You don't have to make a big deal out of it. And somehow there's a shift that happens. Somehow we reset ourselves. Such an important thing to know that you can do. You
Yes.
can have that kind of agency, and it's so important in, sort of the work of learning life skills together for people to have that sense that, oh, I can make this, I can make a shift. I can be a little different and a little, maybe, um, I don't want to say calmer necessarily even, but be a little bit
Mm.
different when I walk in the door and the kids are there or whatever it happens to be, because we're carrying that atmosphere with us and it's contagious and the kids notice. And if we're a little bit centered, yeah, they get with the program a little more. So we're really, really helping just from, a tiny thing like that. So many tiny things, though, add up. And, an event that you go to, a thing that you learn like this right now, you know, add up and really, I think, help with how our kids are as they're growing up, whether we're a parent or someone who just cares for and about kids. We are an instrument. And so for the YMCA of Greater Brandywine, you're setting aside a day for kids this Saturday, April the 18th, for Healthy Kids Day. And I thought that would be a great place just to start, and you can maybe fill us in on what's going to happen and what's there, and we'll see how each one of those things might be a seed that does this thing.
Yes. Thank you for inviting me in to share. I think it's important to start with the YMCA because this helps frame everything. And the Y of the YMCA of Greater Brandywine has been serving Chester County for over 130 years.
Mm,
So the Y is a part of the broader community going back to 1851. And at the core are three things: youth development, healthy living, and social responsibility. And that shows up in the work of the Greater Brandywine YMCA, serving over 100,000 individuals each year, supporting more than 8,000 children in childcare and camp programs, and ensuring access through nearly $3 million in financial assistance. So the Y never
mm,
turns anyone away. And so when we talk about programs or events and the connectivity of the larger mission and how that connects to the community in such an event as Healthy Kids Day is a free event. It's free. And so that's often, somewhat of a buzzword these days, or magical, or is that possible that anything can be free? And then what's the value in free? And so the value of Healthy Kids Day is that it is a way for parents and kids, families to experience the why and the mission in action. And this event has been held actually nationally. So this is a national day for the YMCA all throughout the country. This Saturday, April 18th, YMCAs are preparing to offer the programs and services and be on site to talk about all the programs that are available, the facilities that are available. And it's important to note that the Y is so much more than a gym.
mm,
And this particular event has been occurring for over 30 years. And we welcome and invite the whole family to participate, especially as we transition into the summer. And as I mentioned, YMCA camps are significant. If you have kids, you know about YMCA camps. Your kids probably go or have gone or you're getting ready to sign up. And so the structure of what we offer through the why, but then also the structure of Healthy Kids Day, but also this kind of flow to come in and just experience it as things are and as the events and the schedule unfolds for each why, that Healthy Kids Day is open to the community, and it's brings families together around movement,
Mm,
connection, learning. And this is through games, activities, maybe sampling some of the classes we offer, families connecting with community health resources. It's really designed to show what a balanced, healthy lifestyle can look like. And it's not just an event. For some, it might be a starting point. For some, it might be already a community that they're part of. But for many families, it almost gives a blueprint for how to approach not only summer, but raising, as a parent, raising our kids, and who do we invite to be a part of raising our children and being a part of our families and supporting all of our physical and emotional well-being.
yeah. So, wonderful opportunity, and this is happening at every Y across Greater Brandywine. Yeah,
Every Y, and the schedule is on ymcagbw.org for each of the branches throughout Chester County. Then we have all the locations that are available where we'll be hosting programs throughout the day.
wonderful. And so I really want to make sure that we post that link for everybody when we post this Zoom meeting. So yeah, wonderful. Um, what I heard you talk about mostly was movement and connection. And so both of those things play heavily into what we do with learning life skills, which is why, you and I have found this really, sensible connection between the why and learning life skills. I mean, we're working really with mental health. It's a preventive program, if everybody remembers. The idea is that parents are getting a chance to brush up on their life skills, which are the ones that really matter for creating the atmosphere, the environment for our kids to thrive with their mental health. So, the four skills of paying attention, of um, being able to regulate your emotions, which is a step we just took right at the start. Heather, you brought us into that, a place where we're maybe vibrating at a lower frequency, and to be able to get through tough times. And this is the key for everyone. How do we, in a healthy way, wait out the difficult times in our lives? It may be a time of grieving, it may be a time of some kind of illness for someone in the family. Where do we go with that? What do we do? And one of the great things we can do is move our bodies, as we all sort of know intuitively, right? We
Mhm.
we get really upset and we say, I need to go take a walk. And so that's kind of where we start with the idea of movement, is just basically going for a walk. Now that turns into a million different things. And there are a million opportunities with the why to sort of start to explore those
Mhm.
ways of moving your body. The things that we do for ourselves, right? When we say, this is difficult for me. My body feelings, our feelings are our feelings in our body. Get relieved a little bit when I move around, when I do things, when I exercise. And we, in learning life skills, talk about the science behind that and how we have all these stress hormones in our bodies, and we don't necessarily take the time to exercise and burn them off. When we do, we're healthier in mind and body, and that's what the why is all about, and also what we're all about. So I was wondering if maybe you had some YMCA oriented comments about how to, sort of have that regular outlet and how your kids can have
Yes, thank you, Don. Yeah, great examples. And there's the simplicity, the complexity of life.
that. I think you froze a little bit here. Oh,
A place where that might be able to all come together. And the why is absolutely the perfect place for this. And for example, it makes me think of, if you go to the Y, if you've been to the Y, or you go to the Y, you might already do this, or you might witness this. Something as basic as walking and walking together, which is often, we take it for granted, or maybe don't even see that as a group uh, kind of
yeah,
activity, right? And yet, if you go to the Y, you might see a family walking together. And if it's outside on the outdoor tracks, or it might be when it's cold or inside, and the new mom pushing the stroller and the family walking and this community, or it could be a certain population that gathers to walk together. And it's something that's so simple and yet an easy way to build attention, regulate stress, as we're moving our bodies and connecting. And this is just something you naturally see at the Y.
mm,
So families moving, people moving, kids playing, people engaging with each other. And so it's, in my opinion, it's a model for how our communities can be and
yeah,
engaging, connecting. And this happens in real time at the Y. So families interacting and kids learning. And a program like LLST and other programs that the Y offers, they give structure,
yeah,
connection, community in an experiential way that often on our own, we're not, we might be motivated, but we maybe lack or the time, or there is maybe a lack of motivation for the follow through. And so we know that by connecting in communities, it creates this the motivation often. And
yeah,
so, this environment that's created through the Y, these skills are really happening. And but the intentionality of having a program and education also as a part of educating parents, kids, carers, anyone about like self and others as we interact with others, and that importance, like you said, that simple example of how do I show up when I walk through my door when I get home, and how do I show up at work, how do I show up in any environment. And that's really powerful, and there's really simple skills to learn how to improve one's own experience and the experience of others around us.
yeah. And I like what you're saying about the motivation piece because we learn things and we say that's a really good idea, and then we don't implement it, as often as we should. And the why as kind of a structure, a container for that. I will be there 3 times a week doing this thing that I signed up for because I have a part in this. I belong to this, as you were saying. I have this connection and I need to fulfill it. And it has that whole other layer that I started with, that whole
Yes.
that whole thing. My intention is to be able to be calmer when I walk in the house. Yeah.
Yes. And being able to be aware of that sometimes that even the awareness of it is empowering and reinforcing of the behavior.
Yeah.
Right. And so
Yeah.
now I can sign up for this class once a week or three times a week. And now the community is asking, well, where were you? We missed you.
That's the piece that we talk about in learning life skills, because with each of our skills we have a sort of a set of activities, and maybe it's worth just dipping into that for a minute. So we have the walking and movement and that kind of thing, going with paying attention, because all of those things, just walking requires a lot of attention with our mind and body. And then the next thing, that emotion regulation, we connect to experiencing awe and beauty, which may just be going outside and looking at the sky, or sitting and looking at the sunset with someone, or it could be reading a book, or looking at a picture book with your child, or some other format of experiencing, sort of our created world, and the ways that we try to explore it through the arts. So listening to music together, dancing together, all of those kinds of things help us with that emotion regulation. And then the next one, that getting through tough times, man, the exercise thing really helps.
Yes.
I will testify to that one. And at the same time, having something that gives you a sense of accomplishment,
Hmm.
making something. It might be making a play in a basketball game. It might be making breakfast, for a bunch of people. It might be anything like that. It might be knitting. And we just finished a session of crocheting, at the Center for Contemplative Studies here. So all of those things really help us. And I expect that there's a variety of those kinds of things available through the Y. And then the last thing is being able to effectively communicate with others, you know, really basically for our kids, for them to be able to say, this is what I need right now. You know, it's sometimes hard for people to say that, you know. I really could use some help. It's a powerful sentence. And it often, gets a response, but it's really hard to say. And for people to learn to do that,
Hmm.
they have to be in community. They have to
Hmm.
feel like they belong, and that they
Hmm.
to say,
Hmm.
I can show up, I can be me, and I can ask for what I need. That's
Hmm.
a really amazing place to be. And the Y is one of those places that's dedicated to creating that. I mean, you
Hmm.
said it. I'm doing this, I belong, and I didn't show up, and somebody called me and said, "Are you okay? Where
Hmm.
were you? We missed you."
Hmm.
That's what all of us sort of long for, frankly,
Hmm.
to have that kind of connection. And we really want that for our kids, because frankly, they need it.
Yes. Yes. Very needed.
So the opportunities are there. Um, I'm just wondering if you had any comments about the kinds of programming that are available, throughout the county, because, you know, um, what might people look at from the Y that they wouldn't expect from the Y, I guess is what I'm saying. You know,
Yeah.
we all
That's
we
a
all
great,
have an impression in our mind of what the Y does, and I
yeah.
suspect that it's a lot larger than that.
That's a great question. And that's why often we share we're so much more than a gym. And the facilities are amazing. We're very privileged in Chester County to have these amazing facilities with pools and gyms and even outdoor aquatic areas in the summer and camps and the grounds, pickleball. There's just some amazing facilities that we have. And yet, what many don't understand are the many, many programs that we have around certainly physical health and fitness, but then also groups and community. And so as we look at, the programs that we have and kind of the breadth of them, that we are, one of the strongest childcare providers, helping raise children and
Mm,
providing childcare. Uh, and doing it at such not only a strong and highest credentialed way, and also the training that staff get in regards to education and supporting our kids. And that's, one area from childcare to our senior programs and the ways in which we offer programs and the communities can come together and be formed to what you suggested. It could be new moms. It could be families for example, with children that we call it our adaptive programming. And so we have a significant amount of programming that we call our adaptive area. And so this could be programs that we and gatherings that we offer for a wide variety of individuals with developmental or intellectual disabilities, events that support individuals and families. We have a significant amount of teen programming and developmentally to support through
mm,
adolescence, which is
yeah.
is significant. And sometimes that's safe space, but then sometimes that's educational developmental program that we're offering. The continued theme is bringing people together around, and again, coming back to the three pillars. So healthy living, and the why was founded on spirit, mind, and body.
Mm,
So when we look at healthy living and the programs that are offered, again, physically from group exercise classes to the equipment and then in the wellness centers to the pools and lap swimming, again, a significant amount of resources in the facilities for physical health. And then there's this area specifically at YMCA of Greater Brandywine that we've been more intentional about building out and also bringing out into the community. So we recently, this past year, launched a fit truck. So we literally have this amazing truck that's full of wellness equipment that we can bring out to the community and bring out to a school or an organization or a business. So again, that physical piece kind of on the go. And then this area we've been building out around mental health and mindfulness, and then this collaboration with the university is it just really made sense. Hey, we should look at learning life skills together, and we should look at sharing this more with families and carers, parents at the Y. As I shared with you, that's a significant amount of people that we serve,
yes.
right? And so I think the best way, because we wouldn't have time in this podcast or a whole series, honestly, to tell about how many programs that the Y offers. And so the best way is really to go on the website and you can see how user friendly it is. So you can see like who do I identify it as, or what program area might I be interested in, and become curious, about that. And then certainly reach out to us, because YMCA's really employ some of the best human beings in my experience. I might be a little partial, but we're talking about extremely compassionate, kind individuals who are ready for people to come in and to help connect with others. And so, you mentioned about, the help that we might need. And sometimes, do we even know what help we need? We just might be so overwhelmed with that, with whatever the circumstance is. And that's what we do find, that people, families, kids are overwhelmed. And they tell us this at the Y. They share, they really open up,
Yeah.
they trust us, they tell us this. And so it's like, well, how do we respond to that so that we can continue offering programs that are, certainly support physical health and then mental health and well-being. And it's very powerful for someone to come to a class or participate in a group and hear someone else's story and connect with it. And then also maybe have more awareness about, oh, I didn't even know that would be helpful. That sounds like it was helpful for them, or maybe helpful for them. Oh, maybe that's helpful for
Yeah.
me.
How about me? That's always a great, great way in. And, I want to go back to the beginning there of our talk of your guiding us settling in. And, we talked a little bit about how when we walk in the door to our kids or our kids come in the door to us, that's how we want it to be. And what you're saying is that the Y is like that. That you're talking about the quality of the staff and that they have that centered, welcoming presence, that's on offer. And I think just to know that there's a place that you can go where that's on offer is really really wonderful to tuck away and maybe go explore on the 18th of April. Healthy Kids Day,
Yes.
you know. So at the end of our Zoom meetings, I ask our guest for a a watchword or um, some little gem of a takeaway. I mean, watchword can just be one word, you know. Well, what would you like to leave us with?
I think I would say the watchword would be connection. Seems like very the theme of what we've talked or throughout our
Yeah.
discussion today of connection. And we're not, I don't think we're meant to do anything alone, in the way of how that can help improve our health, well-being. And that often we find ourselves, where do we go? And I say the why. Come to
Yeah.
the why. Go to
Make
the
the
why.
connection.
Make the connection at the why, even if you don't know exactly what you're looking for. And Healthy Kids Day is a great way to do that because there's going to be so much energy, excitement, enthusiasm around the day, and so many opportunities to sample things. So
Mm,
just come be curious, try
yeah.
something out, try something on, something that you've always wanted to do or haven't done, or you're looking maybe for support for yourself or for your families. Come connect with us and ask us. And we look forward to building that relationship.
Wonderful connection. And thank you so much, Heather. It was great talking with you.
Thanks, Don. You as well.